So I want to address the aspect of a constant clamor across the country for multiple, states and multiple divisions, wherein there's so many different factions, each of which wants to have a different state for itself. Existing states are being broken down into other states. For the recent one, being Andhra Pradesh, where there's a huge demand for a separate Telangana being created out of it. I really feel, what spectacular benefit comes out of this. World over, I've seen, a lot of countries which have large, divisions or administrative divisions within the country, which remain the same. If I take the United States as a primary example, it has been 50 states since 1959, when Hawaii was the last state. But before that, for a long time, the existing states have been the way they are. And if you look at the United States 1959 onwards, there has been no other division. The 50 states have remained the 50 states. So why in this country do we have a constant, a perpetual demand for more and more states? I don't quite agree with the fact that administration is necessarily better when you have smaller states. If you take the Northeast as an example, when you had one Assam, and then you have so many different, what are called the seven sisters, wherein you have Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and Arunachal, and all those states being carved out of that part of India. So I don't think that there's still a lot of unrest. There's still a lot of unhappiness that side. The reasons may be different. There may be various other political issues, but I would like to question whether the creation of, say, a Jharkhand out of Bihar, or an Uttarakhand out of Uttar Pradesh, or a Chhattisgarh out of Madhya Pradesh, has it necessarily benefited A, and does that really justify? Because more than that, what I feel is that as you go on bifurcating the country into more and more divisions, there's always that perpetual feeling of us and them coming in. And I feel a lot of the politicians in this country are essentially looking at the creation of more states as an opportunity to be in power. Just think about it. You have more states, or even if you have, say, one more state, say Telangana, you'll have another chief minister, you'll have another, say, capital. If Hyderabad becomes the capital of Telangana, then you'll probably have another city which will be selected as the capital of Rayalaseema and coastal Andhra. So now each time there'll be more bureaucrats, there'll be more ministers, there'll just be more and more of all the nepotism, all the negatives that we constantly see in India. So I think before all of this is constantly even encouraged in any way, the government should really think about it. Now recently Mayawati has been talking about bifurcating Uttar Pradesh in its current form into 4 different states. Now, is that justified? Tomorrow, Maharashtra being such a big state, there might be a demand for a separate, say, Vidarbha. And there are already, in West Bengal, there are certain factions where they want, a Gorkha land. So I don't think we as Indians, I think this is our biggest problem, wherein there's no unity within ourselves. We're constantly, for example, I have myself noticed that India is probably one of the only countries where Indians abroad, the first thing they probably want to know is that which part of India, where in India are you from. Outside also, they lose their Indianness as a unified form of existence, and then they're always talking about regionalism. Whereas most foreigners whom I have come across here, they stick to the fact that they're from a certain country, but beyond that, whether they are from a particular part of the country and which part they're from, they tend to focus less on that. So the fact that the key aspect that I'm trying to highlight here is that we should try and remain united and stop this constant bifurcation, this constant demand for more and more administrative divisions. I am not sure that it really benefits. If you think that these newer states which have been created in the recent past, say Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh and Uttarakhand, if they have really benefited, let's hear it, because I think, in some ways, okay, there's a certain part which, gets more development, but when I take a holistic picture, does it really benefit the entire country? That is what I'm trying to understand. So feel free to drop your comments, and let's see. I personally am not very convinced that too many bifurcations can benefit the country, but if you think they can, so let's hear it. Thank you.